Hello, welcome back. It's Donna Vanderhoff here, and we're reading the book The Game of Life and How to Play It. And we are in the chapter Law of Karma and Law of Forgiveness. And we are on page 35. I think it's like the fourth paragraph down. For example, a woman came to me asking treatment for prosperity. She did not take much interest in her household affairs, and her home was in great disorder. I said to her, if you wish to be rich, you must be orderly. All men with great wealth are orderly, and order is heaven's first law. I added, you will never become rich with a burnt match in the pincushion. She had a good sense of humor and commenced immediately, putting her house in order. She rearranged furniture, straightened out bureau drawers, cleaned rugs, and soon made a big financial demonstration, a gift from a relative. The woman herself became made over and keeps herself keyed up financially by being ever watchful of the external and expecting prosperity, knowing God is her supply. Many people are in ignorance of the fact that gifts and things are investments and that hoarding and saving invariably lead to loss. There is that scattereth and yet increaseth, and there is that withholdeth more than is meet, but it tendeth to poverty. For example, I knew a man who wanted to buy a fur-lined overcoat. He and his wife went to various shops, but there was none he wanted. He said they were all too cheap looking. At last he was shown one. The salesman said was valued at $1,000, but which the manager would sell him for $500, as it was late in the season. His financial possessions amounted to about $700. The reasoning mind would have said, you can't afford to spend nearly all you have on a coat, but he was very intuitive and never reasoned. He turned to his wife and said, if I get this coat, I'll make tons of money. So the wife consented weakly. About a month later, he received a $10,000 commission. The coat made him feel rich. It linked him with success and prosperity. Without the coat, he would not have received the commission. It was an investment paying large dividends. If a man ignores these leadings to spend or to give, the same amount of money will go in an uninteresting or unhappy way. For example, a woman told me on Thanksgiving Day, she informed her family that they could not afford a Thanksgiving dinner. She had the money, but decided to save it. A few days later, someone entered her room and took from the bureau drawer the exact amount the dinner would have cost. The law always stands back of the man who spends fearlessly with wisdom. For example, one of my students was shopping with her little nephew. The child clamored for a toy, which she told him she could not afford to buy. She realized suddenly that she was seeking lack and not recognizing God as her supply. So she bought the toy and on her way home picked up in the street the exact amount of money she had paid for it. Man's supply is inexhaustible and unfailing when fully trusted, but faith or trust must precede the demonstration. Act according to your faith, be it unto you. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For faith holds the vision steady, and the adverse pictures are dissolved and dissipated. and in due season we shall reap, if we faint not. Jesus Christ brought the good news, the gospel, that there was a higher law than the law of karma, and that law transcends the law of karma. It is the law of grace or forgiveness. It is the law which frees man from the law of cause and effect, the law of consequence, under grace and not under law. We are told that on this plane, man reaps where he has not sown. The gifts of God are simply poured out upon him. All that the kingdom affords is his. This continued state of bliss awaits the man who has overcome the race or world thoughts. In the world thought, there is tribulation, but Jesus Christ said, "Be of good cheer, I have overcome the worlds." The world thought is that of sin, sickness, and death. He saw their absolute unreality and said, "Sickness and sorrow shall pass away, and death itself, the last enemy, he overcame." We know now from a scientific standpoint that death could be overcome by stamping the subconscious mind with the conviction of eternal youth and eternal life. The subconscious, being simply power without direction, carries out orders without questioning. Working under the direction of the superconscious, the Christ or God within man, the resurrection of the body would be accomplished. Man would no longer throw off his body in death. It would be transformed into the body electric, sung by Walt Whitman. For Christianity is founded upon the forgiveness of sins and an empty tomb. Okay, we'll stop there. That's the end of the chapter. And this one had some really great stuff in it. Did y'all catch the line? We know now from a scientific standpoint that death could be overcome by stamping the subconscious mind with the conviction of eternal youth and eternal life. So how many of you are going to try that one? If you impress your subconscious over and over again, repeatedly, with that thought, with your belief in the eternal youth and eternal life, that you can overcome death. That's a really interesting concept. I'm definitely going to give that a try, because I already want to live to at least 150. So if I could overcome death completely, that would be really awesome. So, and she touched on some other things here about keeping orderly. Like there's that saying, if your house is in disarray, then your mind is in disarray. And so you have to kind of like keep your environment orderly too, in order for that to translate into your mind being orderly and not in chaos. So, okay, we'll pick it up tomorrow and we'll be starting the chapter Casting the Burden, Impressing the Subconscious. Okay, have a great night, and I will see you all tomorrow. Good night. Bye.